Good afternoon. Father Kevin Donald here at Church of the Resurrection, Resurrection Parish, Tampa Bay. Actually, I'm not at Resurrection at this moment. I'm making this video chat from my study here at the rectory. Hope it's a good Wednesday for you all. We're about a week into our experience of Thy Kingdom Come, where we're asking everybody in the parish to participate in the Thy Kingdom Come, the 10 days of prayer from Ascension Thursday to Pentecost Sunday, try to bring about a new creation for the world under the banner of God's grace and God's leadership. Of course, this initiative was started by the Archbishop of Canterbury. It's been joined in by Archbishop of Constantinople, Bishop Bartholomew, and of course, the Archbishop of Rome, Pope Francis. So that's pretty good grouping to say let's all pull together and pray, and hopefully you all have taken and experienced that. And go to Thy Kingdom Come website and just log in and sign up. Church of the Resurrection is registered. You can tag onto that. You can download the app and be part of this wonderful 10-day experience. Tonight, as part of trying to figure out how to be an instrument of Thy Kingdom Come, Resurrection Parish is coming together to do the visioning for what shall we build in 2020. As you know, the landscape for ministry in Tampa Bay is changing. We sent out some information about that so that you would know how serious the challenge is, as Tampa Bay is the third most unchurched religious city in the United States. After Portland, Seattle, Tampa Bay is the city that chooses not to be about a witness of faith. Almost 40% of that population in that poll that you received in the email yesterday would tell you that. So we've got our work cut out for us. And sadly, that means the next generation, some of the young people who were acolytes from me when I came here 20 years ago, of course, are now part of that population. We need to find a way to bring them back in. So tonight is a way to do that. We're trying to recast a vision of how we go about doing liturgy, how we go about our social media, how we go about even taking care of our buildings and grounds. It's an important conversation, and it's a chance for everybody to be a part of it. It's not the rector said we're going to do it this way, and it's been handed in down from on high, and off we go. It's not the way to do business anymore. So what I would like is that we end into a collegial conversation and dialogue to figure out how to best cast a vision that we could all join in, and that we could all be a part of and share with others down the road as we go into 2020. So tonight, for an hour and a half, I know it's a weeknight. It's just as summer's beginning, but that's why we're doing it now, because summer is just getting started. We want to get this conversation underway so that by the time the fall returns, we can say, this is where we are as we see ourselves going forward in 2020. And of course, the only way we can say this is where we are is if we have you with us. So I very much invite you and want you and implore you to come. It's an hour and a half. There are plenty of times we use an hour and a half for things that are far less constructive than this. So I hope you'll use your time tonight to come up to Keystone and share in that experience with us. It's really important. It's critically important. And I have confidence that the good people of Resurrection will respond. Of course, we're on the cusp of Pentecost Sunday, so that's coming up. Don't forget to wear red on Sunday. We'll have the balloons and the festivity and the banners and all the things that go with that. But probably one of the highlights of Sunday is that we'll be receiving from the old Catholic Church a transitional deacon, and that is a deacon who someday will be ordained a priest. His name is the Reverend Mr. Dustin Lawrence. And Dustin is a young man in his early 30s that is a candidate that I think everyone can be proud of. Bishop Michael is very excited to receive him. And so he's asked me to do that on his behalf. There'll be about 25 people from the new work he's starting down in the greater Fort Myers area to be coming to this. So we'd like the community of Resurrection to put its best foot forward and to welcome these people and to say, we're glad you're here. We're glad there's a new ministry that's beginning in your midst. And how can we, who were down that road ourselves many years ago, how can we be a help and a support? So that's Sunday at 10 o'clock. Even those of you who go to the 8 o'clock service, this is well worth scheduling 10 o'clock as your Sunday time for Mass. So that's Pentecost Sunday. And it'll be a quick day and a night of packing, because on Monday morning, Thomas and Terrell and Blair and Gary and myself get on a plane at 6 a.m. heading for JFK in New York, and then on to Doha, and then on to Tanzania. This is mission trip Biharamulo and Weru Diocese, where Thomas and his team will lead almost 3,000, somewhere between 2,500 and 3,000 young people in a youth conference for a week. Prior to that, we'll be taking a side trip over to Zanzibar. Side trip sounds like it's vacation. It's not. Bishop Michael's asked us to come and look at what's gone on with St. Monica's house, since we were able to raise the $20,000 between the foundation in Colorado, led by Bishop Jerry, and the donations from Father Ross Lindsay and his people in South Carolina, and of course what Church of the Resurrection has been able to do. So we're going to be able to take pictures back and report how that renovation is going, which is so important to the future ministry of the Diocese of Zanzibar. And then secondly, as a side note, many of you might recall that I'm the assistant bishop, the bishop emissary as we call it, for Bishop Michael in the Diocese of Zanzibar. And so that happened some months ago, and the schedule and didn't permit, but now we're going to have an installation. Why can't you be installed here? Because it's for the Diocese of Zanzibar. This is the reason why. So you're all invited to come to Zanzibar next Thursday on, I think it's the 13th, during the Diocesan Synod, and we'll have pictures, if nothing else. I'm sure Thomas and Blair and Terrell and Gary will have pictures to say, this is what happened. And one of the most historic cathedrals in the Anglican Communion, Christ Church Cathedral, Zanzibar, is, as some of you know, the very site where the slave trade from East Africa took place. The altar is built on the very slab that the slaves were auctioned from, and the whipping post is right adjacent to it as you get to the pulpit. So it's a moving place to think all that's happened there. And remember, it was Anglicans who helped undo the slave trade, and so it's very fitting that an Anglican cathedral, one of the most impressive Anglican cathedrals physically, and certainly that part of the world, is built on a place that was so terrible, where grace did not abound, and now on a place where grace abounds as a beacon to Zanzibar, which is 99% Muslim. So that will be happening. We ask your prayers. If you haven't had a chance to donate to the fund, you're welcome still to do that. You can send a check along to Church of the Resurrection. You can call me, put it down simply on the memo as the mission fund, or come on Sunday, make a donation, come and see Thomas off, come and embrace him and the team. We'll be commissioning them and say, we'll be praying for you, we wish you well, we can't wait to come back and find out about the good work that God has done in you this season. So it's a busy couple of days. I hope you'll be praying for this work, that the visioning process. I hope you'll be excited about the new work that we're beginning and receiving a new deacon into the church. And then, of course, the mission trip that is being sponsored by the Anglican Union and Resurrection Parish, of course. So, a lot to take in. Please consider the time you have as the Lord's time. As I've learned the hard way, it is the Lord's time. And make the Lord's time your time with his people. So the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. Give you his countenance and his peace this day and always. And together the people said,